What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to my channel. How you guys doing? If you guys are brand new here and you guys don't know what we do, don't worry, I'm gonna break it down for you guys. We talk about the most scary and creepiest videos on the net, on the web. That's gonna make us question everything. Seekers, sit back. Let's do what we do best, Seekers. Say it with me, y'all. Yeah, I know what we do. Let's seek the truth.
Earbuds that read your brainwaves, and you are going to ask them to ship it to you. Patent number US 202302256591, filed in 2022, just resurfaced. Biosignals sensing device using dynamic selection electrodes. Inside the ear sensor that pick up EEG, your brain's electrical activity plus eye movement, muscle activity, and heart rate. Apple frames the use cases as seizure detection, sleep monitoring, early warning for neurological disease, and all of this is true. It's also all real, but it's all also the most invasive consumer device ever proposed. In Cyberpunk 2077, there's tech called brain dance. Think of it as a recording of a certain person's memory, but also with their every lived sensory, emotion, and thoughts all tied into it. And there's a whole black market for it. The body seems to be the last frontier, and now Apple is inside of your skull, but you probably paid for the device. If you want to stay updated on more dystopian tech news, then sign up for my free newsletter through the link in my bio. But as always, think about it, let me know what you think, and follow me.
Seekers, we not messing with that, man. Like I said, bro, go back to a wired connection, man. This wireless connection, these wireless headphones, bro, they're not it, man. It's like you said, bro, the body's like the last freaking place, man, that they have it try to freaking make a buck off of, and now they come up for that too, man. Every part of your body, bro, they want, man. They want their money. What is this foolishness? Which one's Punch, though? Did he say that name for Punch? You can't take people nowhere, man.
CERN turned back on. I just found some really interesting things. There's a kernel of truth that gets stretched. Particle collisions create conditions similar to the early universe. Physics talks about things like quantum fields, extra dimensions, virtual particles popping in and out of existence.
That's the definition of portal.
There's this one scientist that did talk about she saw like a ghostly apparition happening within the tube while it was happening. There was this viral video years ago of a ritual outside of CERN that turned out to be a staged prank by employees, not a real experiment or event.
That's crazy.
So they were doing a ceremony in front of the god Shiva.
That's scary stuff.
CERN is creepy to me.
What if they end up being successful and then they create a universe inside of our Earth?
That's a true worry or fear that they could create a black hole
And we just get sucked into
and
it.
that we would.
That seems like pretty instant.
I don't know.
We wouldn't feel it.
Maybe.
Maybe it has to grow, though.
We're just
Slowly.
Damn, I didn't even think about it like that. We need to keep our eyes on CERN, bro.
Alright, Spielberg's new movie Disclosure Day is going to come out. You know, it's about aliens. It's obvious on the trailer. But what if aliens came before this movie? I mean, seriously, think how funny that would be. Spielberg spent $150 million on this original big sci-fi concept. You know, and then right before that movie comes out, aliens hit. Because no one's going to go see that movie if aliens are actually up in the sky. Because who wants to go see a fake movie about aliens when aliens are real and they're here? You know, this Disclosure Day movie could just be predictive programming to get us ready because the government's going to release fake aliens. Because if you watch my videos enough, you know I think those fake alien invasions are going to come. Project that word we can't say. I mean, most likely the budget for this movie is $150 million because Spielberg's 79 years old and we're probably not in that movie, so he's going to go out with a bang. But you know, the screenplay was written by the same guy that did Jurassic Park and War of the Worlds. So hopefully when the government does do that fake alien invasion, they hire a good screenplay and creature design artist. But no, it's going to be something bad. What do y'all think this Disclosure Day movie is actually just predictive programming and they're getting us ready?
I think it is. I mean, bro, there's like have been a lot of stuff related to aliens, UFOs that's been dropping this year, man. And this is the year Spielberg drops Disclosure Day. I know it's probably been in the works for a while, but it's like it's lining up almost like too perfectly, man, that I just can't ignore the signs. Seekers, tell me down below, man. You guys can actually check out Disclosure Day.
Supposedly, Trump went to Area 51 and someone got footage. This looks exactly like the picture that was posted on his social media the other day. That we got no explanation for.
It do though.
If this is AI, it's really, really good. Stay weird, y'all.
This futuristic turbine was not created by a team of engineers. It was developed by an artificial intelligence algorithm. And the craziest thing about it is that the very first version was immediately functional. Just look at this shape. It looks like an alien design. The shape is organic, fractal, extremely complex, one that does not originate in human thought. This is not the language of classical engineering. This is a structure calculated not by intuition, but by pure mathematics. And yet there is nothing extraterrestrial about it. This system was created by Neuron, the first artificial intelligence that independently designs machines. Company 71, based in Dubai. They use this algorithm to create a hypersonic pre-cooler with fractal geometry capable of effectively cooling extremely superheated air at extreme speeds. And now for the mind-blowing moment. The artificial intelligence went from project to finished part in just 2 weeks. 2 weeks for something that would take an entire team months or even years. And even then, it's not certain they would succeed. Moreover, the entire cycle is closed loop with AI. It designs, simulates, manufactures, and learns from test results to improve subsequent engines. Neuron has already absorbed the data from the first test to predict and design even more advanced versions. Yeah.
Charles III
Crazy.
delivered a speech in his full ceremonial robes today outlining the UK Labour government's legislative agenda for the coming session. One of the things that they discussed was the introduction of digital ID. And here's what he said about it.
Nope.
My ministers will also proceed with the introduction of digital ID that will modernize how citizens interact with public services.
Now, the king didn't write this policy or personally endorse it. This is just him reading off what the current Labour Party government has proposed, led by Prime Minister Keir Starmer. Now, apparently the UK has been moving towards expanded digital identity and verification services for years, but currently they've been escalating this towards a more comprehensive digital ID system to include app-based digital identities, similar to the NHS app for right to work, right to rent, banking, travel, and public services. Now, there's been significant public pushback with this because a lot of the critics of this believe that this would erode privacy, create risks with surveillance from the government, and they also believe it would create greater state control, especially over data security and civil liberties.
It is, man. That digital ID, bro. To quote that's scaring me, bro. I don't want that to happen, man, because if the UK gets that, then you know it's only going to be a matter of time before. Who gets it? We do. The US, man. So, man, appreciate those people, man, fighting back, bro. Gotta draw the line somewhere.
At Six Flags experienced everyone's worst nightmare. Riders were seen walking down tracks high above to escape a stalled ride after being stuck for about an hour. The Superman ride at Six Flags in New England was shut down for the day following the incident. A TikTok user saw the video and commented saying they were on the ride and everyone received refunds and 2 free tickets. According to Six Flags, at its highest point, the track reaches 208 feet into the air.
I cannot tell you how many people have said, oh, you're going to see the actronauts. The actronauts. There are still people who do not believe that this happened. How do you handle that? I ignore it. You ignore it?
Yeah. But not, I think that's maybe, not even the right word. It's not how you feel about it either. We value, we just value people. We just respect people. And so it's not to dismiss them. I don't mind that people ask questions or I want people to critically think about things and not just accept everything that they see. To me, it's speaking to some need that we're not filling. And I'd love to help them fill it. I don't know how to do it.
But like we've talked about a lot, we don't carry the weight of the world on our shoulders. We can just be us, be authentic us, tell our truth, and how it's interpreted is how it's interpreted. And as long as they're not hurting anybody, there's no issue.
That's a beautiful. Can I share one? I think it's important to acknowledge that sometimes those are people who want to be heard. And so I process it the same way I process people that say we're spending too much money on that and we have problems here on Earth. Sometimes all I need to do is listen. And I've actually had the best response from people when I did not try to say, hey, for every dollar we spend in NASA, it's $3 to $7 of return. Or to, hey, I've seen the moon and Earth from space. It's an ellipsoid. When I just listen, those are the best interactions with folks like that because they're not always trying to get an answer. They just want to be heard.
Hey, man. Like you said, bro. Sometimes, like you said, man, people, they just want you to listen, man. The only thing that's speaking sketchy to me is I never knew I never knew that like you said, those astronauts, man, the clips, one of them was an actress. That's the only thing, man, that's not lining up, bro. Like, they can't fool it, man. They be like, are you actresses or actors or not, bro? So was that, the moon landing that they just went to, that they just launched, was it fake or real, man? I've seen so many clips, bro. Just jumble in my head. Got the Terminator patrolling the streets, man. He's squaring up.
Why is no one speaking about the fact that the people that really control our world are lizards? Yes, really lizards. And the people they hate the most is the black people. The reptilians or dracolians went from planet to planet taking shit. But when they got to the black alien race, they couldn't take nothing from us. We have something that's really different. It's called the soul. Most life forms only have spirits, but not a soul. We have the soul. This video is about to get a little dark and a little deep. Stay with me. Okay. We are really dealing with an ancient war, and we see it every day. These politicians that try to give us laws, they're not people. They are pirates. They go from planet to planet. You already know that reptilians are cold-blooded. That's why they can go to war and kill so many people. They don't have no emotion, no soul. That's why they cannot defeat the black alien race. We have something they hate, something they can't take. They understood that they could not defeat us, so they used technology. They made us go to war with us. The only one that can defeat a person with a soul is another person with a soul. Take a step back and look at the world. Black people really hate each other, and they don't even know why. They understood our psychic abilities was great when we worked together. They understood that we were the first organic technology. So-called African Americans, we come from the star constellation Triangulum. When you see a triangle or a pyramid, that's us. They don't want you to know that the pyramids are really spacecrafts. So the governments are trying to trick us right now with this UFO exposure shit. Let me be real clear. If you ever see a spacecraft that look like a triangle, that's your people. If you want to know more about these topics, please check out my ebook. The link is in my bio.
Interesting. Okay. Looks like giant hands. That's exactly what it looks like.
The largest land animals on Earth have been hiding in a forest for decades now, and nobody could ever prove that they existed. So deep in the highlands in Angola, there's a population of elephants that locals have been trying to find for decades. They literally call them ghost elephants, and apparently they move at night and avoid all human contact. And despite years of searching now, no scientist ever in history has ever been able to see one with their own eyes. A conservation biologist named Steve Boyce spent over 10 years trying to find them. He went in by motorbike strike by helicopter and placed 180 motion cameras and 100 different microphones across the entire forest. 7 entire years of recordings and not a single elephant in any single one of them. People actually started comparing him to someone chasing a myth, because if they can't find him, then nobody's believing it. Then a former hunter sent him a message and basically just said, "You're looking in the wrong place," so he changed direction. And finally, the cameras caught something. It was eyes glowing in the dark and the first official images of a ghost elephant ever recorded. They hid from humans for decades, and we officially can confirm that they are real.
We have
Oh, they hide it
right
now.
now. This is the color of drinking water in Morgan County, Georgia, after a Meta data center came into the town. AOC showed this in a hearing today. Nothing was different. Nothing had changed other than the data center being built. And Morgan County residents are now drinking water of this color, using this colored water when flushing, when washing their hands, and more. And Morgan County isn't an urban area. It's a rural area. And families, many of them have no choice but to now live near a data center. And the Meta data center is actively contributing to colored water that looks like this. Literally brown, murky, gross, clearly not fit for drinking, definitely not fit for showering in or washing dishes in. That doesn't make anything clean. And the people of Morgan County, Georgia are now experiencing this firsthand, and Congresswoman AOC, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, is calling it out. Follow for more.
Y'all gotta stop eating this stuff, man. Bro sat this ice cream sandwich out and a drumstick out all night, no bugs, and it didn't melt. No, what ice cream you had? No bug. He made a video 2 years ago, right? Shout out to this creator, man. But y'all gotta pay attention to the things that you eating, bro. Not a single bug and no signs of it melting. It's been outside all night, whole day.
I keep telling y'all, they made AI for one reason and one reason only. And now y'all about to see. Elon Musk says a brain chip implant could give humans godlike powers. You see what that said? Honestly, we're getting dangerously close to sci-fi becoming real life. Listen to this.
I mean, these are kind of Jesus level things, you know, like, let's say, like, when technologies are hitting, like, Jesus level miracles, you know, like, that's pretty good.
Think about how crazy it sounds to hear humans say something like this. Now, think about how crazy it sounds to hear a billionaire building a technology that can be implemented directly into the brain. I'm talking about superhuman abilities like this shit is normal. Now, officially, Neuralink is saying the goal is to helping people with paralysis, helping people control their minds. But it sounds real weird with him saying humans are gonna have godlike powers. And honestly, this is where people start getting uncomfortable. Because once technology enters the human brain, we all know that changes everything. Yep. We're not talking about phones anymore. We're not talking about apps anymore. We're talking about technology literally connected to human thoughts. Another thing that's making people nervous is how fast all of this is just happening. 10 years ago, this sounded impossible. Now all you gotta do is just research everything, and you can see exactly what's been going on. You have billionaires openly having conversations about enhancing humans. But what they need to know is, even though AI is evolving, you can never change God's design. I'm out.
The crazy thing about this breeding program with aliens is that, so apparently, like, there was this representative from the U.S. government, randomly, a high-ranking military officer came up to him talking about how the government has these plans where they're crossbreeding humans with aliens. For what? They want to be able to communicate with aliens. Whoa. So they're crossbreeding so that crossbreed can learn both languages.
Whoa. The locations of hybrid breeding programs, aliens that were living with humans that had been abducted.
They're taking people from, like, war-torn countries, forcing them into the program, refugees, or people that have, like, no family.
Oh, because they might end the experiment.
Yeah, and then that's what they're doing it with.
Because they're expendable.
Yeah, exactly.
Damn, that sounds like Deadpool, though, when they're doing experiments on mutants, and they're trying to see whose powers would come out, and they only chose people that were about to die. So Deadpool himself is someone with cancer, and then he was gonna anyway, and he's like, I gotta try a cure so I can live longer.
'Who's that? Who the hell is that guy playing with time like that? Sir,
How did he manage to change the time without even going into his phone? You see the guys. He was on the side of his phone going like that, and the time was changing. Not only that, everybody that followed him, their time changed too. You seen it. Stop playing with me, silly face. For insane purpose, I don't know what the hell is going on there, guys. But we gotta get to the bottom of this. Sir, how did he do that? Because time has been off, guys. It's been way off. Birds been chirping outside of my house 3:30 in the morning. How is that possible? Stop playing with me, sir. It's not a game. I got you. You know what time is it? Sir, but I'll tell you one thing. If I ever see a guy like that in the streets doing a magic trick, playing with the time, knowing that we already think people are playing with the time as it is. Should never did that, dogs. Teach me how to do that.
Has time been off for you guys, unrecently seekers? I mean, the way he was like you said, just turning the side of the phone, man, and it was all lining up. That was eerie, bro. We seen some clips recently, man, of people, you know, saying how they feel like time has gone by way too fast, man. So maybe he was feeling that.
Maverick, no!
Oh, I see the shark right there, man.
Come on, Goose!
It's chasing him. Does he not see? Oh, what the?
Yeah! Don't fall! Don't fall! Oh my God, where are you? Run! Run! Go!
Saying don't fall. What the heck? I can't do the water like that, man.
People thought this was AI at first, but then the camera pulled back and it wasn't. There's a whole crowd just standing there, filming, watching like it's normal. In the middle, a small figure sits in what looks like a giant bird nest. Their arms held back, almost like wings. And the way they eat, they don't even use their hands, just dropping their head again and again, like a baby bird. No reaction, no emotion, pure instinct. And what's even stranger is nobody steps in, everyone just records like it's some kind of performance. At first, you think maybe it's art, maybe it's staged, but the longer you watch, the more uncomfortable it gets. If this is planned, who came up with something like this? If it's not, then what are we actually looking at here? And why does nobody seem concerned? Some say it might have been filmed somewhere in Vietnam, but no one really knows the truth.
And so many child stars break right after the innocent image stops selling. Growing up in public is brutal. That part isn't the conspiracy.
True, but that's only the emotional answer. The business answer is colder. If a child star is not just a talented kid, they're a family-safe product. Kids want to copy them, parents trust them, studios monetize both.
So the kid becomes a brand before they become a person.
Exactly. British known. And every brand has a shelf life. The cute face sells toys. The teen face sells music. The rebellion face sells attention. The collapse sells documentaries.
The machine doesn't stop profiting when innocence ends. It just changes the product.
Like who? Britney went from the Mickey Mouse Club to Teen Pop Princess. Then by 2007, paparazzi and tabloids turned her crisis into a daily industry, not a planned rebrand. Something darker. A proof that even real pain can become profitable content.
That's hard to argue with.
And Miley, Disney's Hannah Montana. Clean image, family brand, safe product. Then the 2013 VMAs. Parents groups complained, news channels exploded. Everyone argued, and overnight the Disney image was gone. The outrage did the rebrand faster than 100 interviews.
So the audience needed a shock event to accept the adult version.
Exactly. If the child star grows up quietly, people resist it. But if they shock you, suddenly everyone understands. The old character is dead.
That's not freedom. That's repositioning.
Amanda Bynes showed the full version. Nickelodeon star. Funny, clean, harmless. Then later, her public struggles and legal problems became headline material for years. People didn't just ask, is she okay? They clicked, mocked, shared clips, turned pain into entertainment.
So the public is part of the factory too, always. The factory needs the audience to complete the cycle. First, love the cute kid, then demand the adult version, then punish them for growing up wrong. Then 10 years later, watch the documentary and say, wow, they deserve better.
That's not nostalgia. That's guilt with a streaming subscription.
And Bieber showed the pressure mop, discovered young, sold as the harmless teen idol. And every teenage mistake became global news. Paparazzi drama, arrests, apology interviews, public judgment. A normal kid messes up, his school talks. A child star messes up. The planet holds a trial.
So childhood fame is basically a conveyor belt?
With cameras, innocent cells, rebellion cells, pain cells, recovery cells. Brand them, age them out, blame them, repackage them. The factory doesn't create childhood, it creates expiration dates.
So when people ask, why do so many child stars break?
Ask the better question. Who built a system where a kid's awkward phase had to be profitable? Because once you see that, child stars stop looking like lucky kids and start looking like childhood brands with expiration dates.
People want to laugh at you when you say Antarctica is a cover-up. First of all, you already know I think the ice wall is real. Second of all, this was in 2025. What is that?
What is that? First of all, how do y'all find this stuff? Genuinely. And a lot of people, they can say, oh, this is just AI. Okay, cool. Cool. You see the patterns, you see the Black Pyramid, you see all the things in Antarctica, Deception Island. It's like weird, crazy, kooky, right? People will even say this, hold on, the fact that the Rothschilds, one of the richest families, the Rothschilds have an island in Antarctica where, mind you, there's a whole treaty saying we're prohibited from going to certain parts of Antarctica. Why do y'all have an island if it is just ice? Why is there an island? Okay, all right, we got that. If you thought that first thing was AI, what's this? What is that? So somebody found these coordinates. I don't know what the coordinates are, but there is a giant face in the ice. Now, there's a lot of things that I can say, maybe it's just a coinky-dink, but this doesn't look like a coinky-dink. I'm seeing a mouth, a nose, and two eyes.
Me too.
Before I die, I must know what is going on. What are they hiding specifically? I need names. I need to know what it is. These are the things that haunt me at 2 a.m. What do y'all think is going on? I mean, there's so many theories from giants to behemoth to, second, third. Well, I'm not going to say that. I don't want my video getting taken down. But I don't know, guys. You tell me. As always, make sure y'all like and follow. Comment down below your thoughts.
I think there's really like some extra land in Antarctica, man. They just don't want nobody to know because they know everybody just going to start just trying to go down there and claiming pieces of it, and they don't want to give it up. That's my theory.
4 different types of extraterrestrial alien species have been recovered from UFO crash sites. That's according to a man, a doctor, who worked with these government agencies. Dr. Hal Puthoff, pictured here, claims that at least 4 different types of extraterrestrial aliens have been recovered from crash sites here on the Earth by the government. He even goes into detail what these different types of extraterrestrials are like. So let me just tell you. So here are those 4 types. The insectoids, the greys, the reptilians, and the Nordics. Let's look into this a little deeper. So according to Dr. Hal Puthoff, who was an advanced aerospace weapons programmer, these are the 4 main species of extraterrestrial life that have come here to Earth on multiple occasions and might still be here now. The first is the insectoids, which look a lot like a praying mantis, but a human-sized one. Then you got the greys, those tiny little skinny extraterrestrials with the big black eyes? Followed by the reptilians, which are well over 6 feet and basically look like a reptile, hence the word reptilian. Then come the Nordiques that all look like they're from Sweden. So Dr. Puthoff, who has made this statement, isn't just spouting off. The things he's talking about, these 4 different types of extraterrestrials, are in the government's own documents. Yes, if you look through the disclosed UFO files, you'll see all 4 of these types of extraterrestrials mentioned. So is it true? Maybe. But a couple things are for sure. Number 1, Dr. Puthoff has said it and he believes it. The government has files on it, so they probably believe it. And all over the world, not just the United States, people have seen these things. So judge for yourself, make up your own mind, and let me know in the comment section. Shabadoo Booshkis, Shabadoo.
Did Toyota try to tell us something?
Industry keeps pumping out all these fake stars. Industry plants? That's not a real thing. I heard they have a factory up in the hills. Let's find out.
Alright. Plants exist though.
Nothing. Out here. Told you.
I mean, that had absolutely nothing to do with Toyota. The plant where stars are born. I mean, there was that one rumor about those characters from that one network being created in the plant, but I didn't take it serious. Is Toyota trying to tell us it is? And this sign is in the hills. Just like it said that factory was. But this video was completely for entertainment purposes. Make sure to like and comment and let me know what you think.
Hollywood.
50,000 people in one of California's most popular tourist destinations are being told that they will not have electricity next year because data centers need it more. And this entire situation is also because of overlapping authority across 2 states and multiple counties. You see, the Nevada-based NV Energy provides power to the mostly Californian residents as well as the growing data center market in northern Nevada for companies like Google, Apple, and Microsoft. And that alone was enough for its parent company to consider ditching Lake Tahoe, but then came a fight over prices. They wanted about 19% more per month from residents, but California regulators told them they can get 11%. And all that's supposed to reflect that Lake Tahoe's energy needs peak in winter, which is far more expensive, and that the area balloons to way more than just 50,000 people. Locals argue that they're the one footing the bill year-round. And adding insult to injury, the rates are partially based on the fact that the area is considered a luxury market due to vacation homes and mass tourism, but many year-round communities are actually fairly low income. And all this led to NV Energy saying screw it, and they left the market. So they argue not completely. They're keeping their infrastructure up so if Tahoe residents can find another provider, NV Energy is willing to let them use their line. So while local leaders say that they're probably fine in the short term, long-term deals, it might be hard to come by. Meaning the people in Tahoe are going to have to compete with data centers and large metro areas for power. Many feel like with just 50,000 people, they really have no leverage. So you've got a lot of people looking at this as maybe a taste of the new normal.
Show of hands. Raise your hand if you are sick of living the same day every day. Wake up, go to school, go to bed. Wake up, go to school, go to bed. Make it to Friday, make it to Friday. It's always make it to Friday. Oh, it's the weekend, yay. Wrong, it's Sunday night. And then after you graduate, yay, you're an adult. No, you're an adult. You have to work until you die. I don't know who decided that this was normal, but it's definitely not normal. Sometimes I wake up and I dread my day because I know it's going to be the same thing as yesterday. And everyone is miserable. Everyone is miserable. Everyone knows we're living in a loop. We can't do anything about it. You just have to keep going. It's like I'm out of breath. Like I can't do it anymore. It's so exhausting.
Do you have to do it? I mean, do we have to do it? Why are y'all deciding to play a role, right? As she puts her hands up. If you look at nature, nature is simply being. They're being nature. That's why y'all love to watch nature so much, because y'all love them, watching them to be free. You can be free too, but you decided to enslave people on their own land just to monitor them and steal their energy to watch what they got going on. Y'all could be out in nature doing what nature does, just like we want to be doing what we want to be doing. But y'all don't want to. Listen, William Shakespeare said it himself. The world is a stage. Every single one of us is playing a role. And until the original cast is tired of playing the role of being enslaved, then things cannot change. And the reason why everyone is going through it spiritually right now, y'all, is because we are taking our power back. We are literally the batteries to this whole system, y'all. We are literally waking up to our true divine self, and things are falling apart. I've been telling y'all, we are in the shift. Let me know what you got.
Boyfriend. In 1978, in a small town in Ohio, there was a woman named Linda Smith who was head over heels in love with her boyfriend. They had talked about marriage endlessly, but just weeks before their wedding, her boyfriend tragically died in a car accident. Linda was devastated. Her boyfriend named Lemmy Leaf was the best boyfriend ever to her. One evening, Linda couldn't take it anymore, and she dug up her boyfriend's grave with the help of her 2 brothers. She announced she was still going to marry him. The townspeople were baffled, and some thought grief had driven her mad. Linda planned an eerie wedding party and invited everyone, wearing a white dress beside Max's corpse in a suit. Then came the twist. Linda didn't plan on returning her boyfriend to his grave. Instead, she decided that they will live together and have a family. All her friends and family saw her as a mad woman, but she didn't care. She kept her boyfriend inside a refrigerator and would occasionally bring him out for a walk. About 11 months later, she got pregnant. But you already know how she got that child.
Creepy last words people said right before dying. Laura says that she works in a palliative unit, and many dying patients claim to see nuns. The nuns are said to be dressed in all white or all black. She said that many patients' last words before they died were related to the nuns. She said that one time a patient told her, "Will you tell the nun to stop waking me up at night?" She kept waking me up to see if I was okay. On another occasion, she asked a patient who he was talking to, and he replied, "The nun sitting over there." One night, Laura was sitting down, and she noticed someone dressed in all black go into a patient's room. She found it odd for a visitor to come in at 2 a.m., especially since the patient never had visitors before. She decided to peek in the room to see who the visitor was, but when she walked in, There was no one there. The patient passed later that night, even though Laura says that when she put him to bed that night, he didn't seem close to death at all. Laura says that it freaks her out when the patients talk about the nuns.
If you hear bones,
the nun is real.
You at night, you better
run.
The Gashidokuru are a yokai from Japanese folklore dating back 1,000 years. They are described as malevolent skeletal giants that can be as big as 15 times the size of a human. It's said that these giants wander around in the middle of the darkest nights, and if they see a human, they'll sneak up behind them. The last thing the victim will hear is the clinking of bones and the chattering of teeth before the Gashidokuru reaches down with its skeleton hands to crush them, bite off their head to drink their blood. According to the folklore, these things are created when people died from war and famine and didn't receive a proper burial. Unable to move on, their souls become angry ghosts, and when hundreds of them gather together, their hatred ferments and twists into this supernatural force, bringing the bones of the deceased together into this gigantic and horrific form. They're thought to be indestructible, so the only way to ward them off is with a Shinto charm. But what do you think of the Gashidokuru? Make sure to leave a comment and like and follow this channel for more Fortean content.
I think the Gashidokuru, bro, yeah, if I've ever heard of that freaking anime called Attack on Titan, I'm guessing that's where it took the inspiration from, because those designs are kind of similar, bro. Hey, man, like we said, we finding out watching these videos together that all pieces of media, man, they originate from somewhere, bro. Folklore, rumors, legends. That's what I learned, bro, watching these videos together with you guys. Edit.
Imagine going into surgery to try to fix a condition, but you actually come out looking much worse. Well, that's exactly what happened to 29-year-old Kayla Cannon. She was born with congenital ptosis, which is basically a condition where your eyes droop. And she wanted to fix this problem, so she went to a specialist, and then she came out looking like this. Kayla decided to get this procedure done with Dr. Harvey Chip Cole, who's located in Atlanta. This doctor made a ton of mistakes during this procedure, one of them being removing half of her eyelids, which caused a lot of tightness and left her looking like this. After the botched surgery, Kayla had a serious infection and could barely close her eyes because of how tight they were. And she had to undergo 7 additional surgeries to correct the damage, and she was left with these permanent scars. Kayla's devastated because she feels like she went through this procedure only to look worse than what she did, and this is the first time that this doctor did something like this. This is another patient who was also botched, and she came out right after Kayla spoke out about this doctor, and the crazy thing about this is that he is still practicing.
Take his license away.
Disturbing backstories. This might look like a normal family photo, but the reality is terrifying. The man in the yellow sweater is named John, and he's holding a baby named Heather. Heather grew up thinking she was adopted by John's brother, making John her uncle. But one day, a phone call changed everything. She had overheard a phone call saying her uncle was arrested. John Edward Robinson was connected to the deaths of multiple missing women, including 19-year-old Lisa Stassi, who was last seen with her 4-month-old daughter Tiffany, who went missing. And that's when Heather realized she's Tiffany. The man she thought was her uncle was actually her mother's killer. John had faked adoption papers and tricked his own brother into adopting his victim's daughter. And for 15 years, no one knew the truth. Follow for more.
Did you know
he never
Ronald
knew.
McDonald is no longer the mascot of McDonald's because of a chilling incident in 2010? This terrifying tale took place in Cuernavaca, Mexico. At a local McDonald's, a statue of Ronald McDonald sat on a bench, a popular spot for photos. Everything seemed normal until one night, when 2 gas station workers from across the street decided to take a break. One went to the bathroom while the other sat next to Ronald, saying, "I'm tired." To his horror, Ronald replied, "Me too." The man, stunned and terrified, leapt from the bench and suffered a fatal heart attack. Hearing the commotion, the second worker rushed out of the bathroom. He saw something so terrifying that he shared the story with everyone he could. However, days later, he fell into a coma and passed away. McDonald's allegedly erased the security footage from the gas station's cameras and quietly removed most of the Ronald statues. This eerie event might explain Ronald McDonald's near disappearance from the brand.
I'm about to show you one of the...
I've always wondered, yeah, why he's like evaporated from the brand. Maybe something, I don't know if it was like remote activated but had automated responses, but That's sure. That's a solid reason why they got rid of him. Or did something else happen?
Most interesting graves in Texas. It's in the Texas State Cemetery in Austin. I visited the other day. It was a cold, dark day. If you walk into the cemetery, you'll notice all the Texas flags and the Texas monuments. These people that were buried here were proud to be Texans. But if you keep walking, you'll notice the Confederate field where Confederate soldiers are buried, and right next to that is the grave of Albert Sidney Johnson. He was at one point considered the strongest general in the Confederacy. He was killed possibly by one of his own troopers. He was killed during the Civil War at the Battle of Shiloh, possibly by one of his own soldiers, and his body was initially buried in New Orleans, but he was moved back to Texas. In 1905, a sculptor was hired to create this monument, and let me tell you, it's eerie because it depicts Albert Sidney Johnson exactly how he looked as he lay dying on the day of his death. It's an eerie monument, it's life-size, it's right in the shadow of Stephen F. Austin's grave at the top of the hill here at the cemetery, and it's very, very, very interesting to see in person.
He's pointing at it. Like, is it connected or something? The whole sculpture, the last moment of before you leave the world, that's definitely eerie.
I don't know if you guys know who these people are, but this is Alana and Brock, and they have a family vlogging channel. They live in Australia, and Alana makes a ton of TikToks about her daughter, Daisy, and how she's sick. Okay? It has just been found that her daughter does not have all of these sicknesses that they previously thought she did, and she was actually being poisoned. Now, Alana had just come on TikTok not too long ago crying and saying how her daughter had brain tumors all through her scans, and her daughter has been sick for a very, very long time. It was found that increased high levels of benzodiazepines were found in Daisy's bloodstream that was leading to her sicknesses. Alana has been profiting off of Daisy's sickness. She has GoFundMe pages, all of her TikToks that are now deleted, the whole page is deleted. All of it has been her doing this to her daughter, allegedly. Daisy's dad said he had no clue about any of this, and the children, because they had multiple kids, were taken out of their care, and right now Daisy is recovering.
So Amy Slaton from
Clout was dangerous, man.
Sisters was just arrested, and the way she was arrested is an actual fever dream. Like, honestly, I feel bad because if this goes the wrong way, she could lose custody of her children. So on Labor Day, Amy Slaton, her boyfriend, and 2 children went to a safari park in Alamo, Tennessee. It's basically like a drive-through zoo where you can feed the animals and pet them if they let you. We don't know exactly how it went down yet, but sources are saying that Amy was bit by one of the camels. I don't know if the injury was so bad that Amy called the police, or if it's just the park's policy to call the authorities anytime someone is bit by an animal, but the police were called, and when they approached Amy's car, they immediately smelled some green flour, if you know what I mean, and when the authorities looked inside, they allegedly saw the flour and some special mushrooms in plain sight. Amy and her boyfriend Brian Lavorne faced charges of illegal possession of Schedule 1 and Schedule 6, and because the children were in the car, they also faced 2 counts of child endangerment. We know that the children are safe and staying with Amy's family members, but Tennessee's Child Protective Services are still investigating, so this could end very badly for Amy. And as of now, I'm pretty sure Amy is still in the Crockett County Jail on a $10,000 bond. I am unaware if 1,000 Pound Sisters is even filming right now, but if you are, let me know in the comments.
Oh, they're TV stars, what the hell?
Out loud, you might die. Hello, my name is Tamino, the creator of the poem Tamino's Hell. I was a boy who lived in Japan. I had very strict parents who would commonly give me cruel and unfair punishments, and was beat by my sisters. One day, I wrote this poem about my journey through hell, fueled by my sisters. But be careful, do not read it out loud. My parents found this poem and dragged me to the cellar and locked me in for several days. They did not bring me food or water, and I passed away due to starvation. My spirit now haunts this poem, and anyone who reads it out loud will be cursed with the same feelings of helplessness and despair that I once felt, as well as extremely bad luck, including accidents, sudden illness, or loss of their voice, and eventually loss of life, so don't risk it, and always remember...
Dirty Facts About History That They'll Never Teach You in School, Part 4. In her famous diary, Anne Frank originally wrote many explicit details involving her lady parts, menstruation, and pleasuring herself. Her father, Otto, cut those parts out. John Harvey Kellogg, one of the Kellogg brothers who invented breakfast cereal, advocated for sewing silver wires through boys' foreskins to prevent them from masturbating. In 1969, Yoko Ono released a film entitled Self-Portrait, consisting of a 42-minute shot of her husband John Lennon's semi-erect member. Following its initial screening, the film was never shown again. Often referred to as the father of vegetarianism, Sylvester Graham shunned alcohol, white bread, meat, and lust. He popularized whole grain food products and originally invented the graham cracker in the early 1800s to stop people from masturbating or having sexual desires. In 1851, Graham died of complications from an opium enema at the age of 57.
Damn, he was still young, man. Those facts blow my damn mind. People back in the day were. That's some extreme methods, man. To say the least.
This man vanished in the 90s, and then, 30 years later, mysteriously showed back up on his family's doorstep with no explanation. This is the bizarre case of Vasile Gorgos. In 1991, Vasile Gorgos, a 63-year-old cattle seller from eastern Romania, disappeared without a trace after leaving for a business trip. Through his work in the cattle business, he would frequently travel to other cities. He bought a train ticket as he usually did and told his wife and kids he'd be back in a few days. He left that day, but never returned. His family reported him missing to the authorities, but after months of searching, they feared the worst. Police theorized he met with foul play, and his relatives knew he wouldn't intentionally run away as he had a family and worked extremely hard for his cattle business. It was ultimately determined that he most likely passed, and his family held a memorial service for him. Fast forward to August 2021. It was a quiet Sunday afternoon when an unknown vehicle stopped in front of the Gorgos home. An older man stepped out as the car quickly sped away, and to everyone's shock, who got out of the car? It was Vasile. His family was in complete shock. He was now 93 years old. He was clean and wearing the same clothes he wore 30 years prior when he went on that ill-fated trip. Along with his clothing, they also found that train ticket he bought 30 years ago, along with some identification. But he barely recognized his family, and seems to have no memory of where he's been the past 30 years. He seems to remember events before the time he disappeared, but nothing from the 30 years he was missing. And after the media got a hold of this story, people had so many questions. As for the car that dropped him off that day and sped away, neighbors said they weren't able to get the license plate or see what the driver looked like. This is one of the strangest stories I've ever heard, and many like myself wonder what happened and who dropped him off that day. Some have pointed to him possibly having another family. Others have speculated a glitch in the universe or time travel. Personally, I am stumped. What are your theories? Where was he those 30 years?
It's a glitch, bro. Like they said, glitch in the matrix. Something happened, bro. That much time
You're
gone.
out and about and see a duplicate of yourself standing in front of you. And I'm sorry, my friend, but the end is near. Well, at least according to Irish folklore. You see, today we're looking at an entity called the Fetch. Now, the Fetch is a very simple concept. It's an exact duplicate of you. Though its appearance is regarded as an omen, usually indicating that your time is near, my friend. Though according to some, the time of day a fetch appears completely changes what it's meant to be indicating. So if you see a fetch in the morning, according to some, it's actually a good sign indicating a long life. This folklore series is quite fun, isn't it? Are you ready for the next episode?
I'm going to warn everybody right now, the case that we're about to cover is easily one of the most disturbing true crime stories I've ever heard in my life, so viewer discretion is really advised for this one. This is Kevin Davis. He was 18 years old back in 2014 when this horrific event took place. Kevin lived here in Corpus Christi, Texas, and shared an apartment with his mother, Kimberly, and his sister, Destiny. On May 26, 2014, Kevin snapped. He had been having homicidal thoughts for a long time, but on that particular day, he decided to bring his dreams and his fantasies into reality. On that morning, Kevin told his mother, Kimberly, that he wanted to unalive himself, and she told him that she couldn't stop him if he wanted to. After hearing this unexpected response from his mother, Kevin went into a rage. He grabbed a cord and attempted to strangle his mother on the couch where she was sitting. But his mom, Kimberly, managed to fight him off, and in a panic, Kevin went into the other room and grabbed a hammer. Now, this is where it gets really disturbing, so if you're still here with me and you have a weak stomach, don't keep listening. Kevin then bashed his own mother's skull in with the hammer, hitting her at least 20 times, and he then grabbed a knife from the kitchen and inserted the knife into the head wound. At that point, Kimberly's head was opened up, she had a massive head wound, and her brain was exposed, and Kevin stuck his hand into his own mother's head and played with her brains. He later told detectives that it felt like putty. Now, after his mother was dead, Kevin dragged her corpse into another room and her, which is unbelievably shocking and disgusting. After all this was said and done, he went to a neighbor's house, told them to call 911, told them that he had just murdered someone, and he was arrested without incident. When Kevin ultimately arrived at the police station, he was brutally honest with investigators about his crimes. I listened to the entire interrogation, and I cannot unhear some of the things that he told investigators. It's vile and shocking. But at one point, he smiles at the investigators with a little grin and says, "Yes, I guess I lost mine to a corpse." After his trial, he was handed down a sentence of life in prison. He's still alive, he's still in Texas right now, and he even admitted to investigators that if he was given the chance, if he were out on the street again, he would kill again. I'm sorry to have to fill your guys' minds with this stuff, but this is a truly disturbing case that I can't stop thinking about because of how horrific it is, and yeah, I cannot believe that this happened.
No words for that case, man. Speechless. Let's look at it.
This case is considered law enforcement's most baffling case. Jason Jolkowski was born on June 24th of 1981. Jason's parents were Jim and Kelly. Jason was incredibly loved, and he would become a big brother when his little brother, Michael, was born. Jason was more of a quiet kid. He didn't really have like a huge group of friends. He was very mindful about the people he let into his life, so he did have a small group of friends, and he was very loyal to them. But Jason was also incredibly intelligent. He had dreams of being a radio DJ, and he did work part-time while he was in college as a DJ, and people said that when he was on radio, he became very peppy and lively. Like, it was a completely different personality. He was very talented at being a DJ. He was currently taking a break from his classes at the community college he was going to in Iowa because his parents simply could not afford it. But he very much planned on going back to school. He had just recently gotten another job that offered tuition reimbursement, and he was very excited to continue his studies so he could become a radio DJ. But on top of wanting to be a radio DJ, he also was very religious and talked about maybe one day becoming a priest. Jason was not the kind of kid that was involved in partying or drugs. He was a very studious and responsible young man. But before he was starting this new job, he was currently working a job at Vasile's. On June 13th of 2001, Jason was called into work. His boss called him and asked if he would come into work early that day at Vasile's. Jason agreed to this, but his car was currently in the shop getting work done to it, so he told his boss that he would just walk to work, which would have been about 4 miles away from his home in Omaha, Nebraska. But his boss said, we have another person coming in, I can have them come pick you up and take them to work. So Jason agreed to meet with this person at the high school that both him and his coworker had gone to school at. This would have been about 8 blocks away from his house, or half a mile. They agreed to meet at the school at 11 a.m., and the last known sighting of Jason was about 10:45 in the morning when their neighbor saw Jason and his younger brother Michael taking the trash cans from the street back to the garage. This would have been about 10:45. Jason is then seen walking toward his high school right after taking these trash cans back from the curb to the house. And sometime in this 10-minute walk, it would have been about 10 minutes to get from his house to the high school, Jason simply vanishes. We'll get into more in part 2. Give me a couple of minutes to film it and get it up. It'll be down.
What is going on around the world right now? In Norway, children are not graded on their work until they're about 12 or 13 years old. So they just learn all. It's visible from space. And this is because 150,000 floodlights are installed by India along the frontier. Italy's oldest barista, who has served coffee since World War II, just turned 101 years old.
Wow.
It is apparently illegal for employers in Portugal to contact employees after work hours. Apparently, if you were to visit one lake per day in Canada, it would take you 5,000 years to visit all of them. 60% of all lakes on Earth are in Canada, apparently. What?
Not looking good for the next generation, and it's probably not their fault.
I think that you guys don't know what's going on in education right now. That's
A lot of
fine.
us
Like,
don't.
how could you know unless you were working in it? But I think you need to know. So here is exactly what it's like right now working in public education. First of all, the kids have no ability to be bored whatsoever. They live on their phones and they're just fed a constant stream of dopamine from the minute their eyes wake up in the morning until they go to sleep at night. Because they're in a constant state of dopamine withdrawal at school, they behave like addicts. They're super emotional, like the smallest thing sets them off. And when you are standing in front of them, trying to teach, they're vacant. They have no ability to tune in if your communication isn't packaged in short little clips or if it doesn't have like bright flashing lights. That's actually the way harder part for me than just the outward behaviors. It's just being up at the front, talking to a group of kids who have their eyes open, they're looking at me, but they're not there. They're not there. And they have a level of apathy that I've never seen before in my whole career. Punishments don't work because they don't care about them. They don't care about grades. They don't care about college. It's like you are interacting with them briefly in between hits of the internet, which is their real life. I've seen some TikToks recently where teachers are getting a lot of hate, like for not adapting to the kids or punishing them or whatever. And I just gotta say, like, I can tell you with absolute certainty, it is not the teacher's fault. It might be the parents' fault. It might be our capitalistic society's fault.
Stay weird.
But it is not the teacher's fault.
And look to everyone as if she's found the fountain of youth all over again. If you haven't seen the images, take a look at this. Kris Jenner looks amazing for 70 years old. The theme of the birthday party, cleverly named 0070. Her look for the party was just breathtaking, incredible. She looked amazing. This event was a star-studded event, including Mariah Carey. Some even taken note that Mariah Carey, who is 55 years old, looked like she found the fountain of youth as well. As you can see from the images that Kris Jenner released, everything was in red. Here's Jeff Bezos and Lauren Sanchez. They're the ones that hosted this event in their home. Mark Zuckerberg and his wife were also in attendance.
The elite.
So happy birthday to Kris Jenner. And I guess my question to you is, has Kris Jenner found the fountain of youth? Or is it good genes or good docs? Let me know your thoughts on this in the comments. And as always, I'd love to hear from you.
You know, if God did not shorten the days in the end times, then there would be no flesh saved. That that is going to get so bad on the earth that no human flesh would be saved unless God quickened Jesus's coming. So I'm reading from the Bible app Haven, and it says in Matthew 24, verse 22, Jesus is saying, mind you, this is God's words, and except those days be shortened, there would be no flesh saved. Humans have flesh. Think about what doesn't have flesh.
People are freaking out, realizing why this actually happens. If your ears ever do this, then you're going to need to hear this. Most people get that random ringing in their ears from time to time. But most people don't actually know what this is. They just say it's one of those things. Now, this sounds scary, but it's not actually, so stick with me. Neuroscientists have done a lot of research on this and say that earring is your brain literally warning you that you've experienced a small amount of permanent hearing damage. There is, of course, a ridiculously big spectrum of frequencies. So when one gets chopped in and you're never going to hear it again, it's not really going to make a difference to you. Now, this actual occurrence is known as temporary threshold shift. It is where the tiny hairs in your inner ear get overstimulated by a very loud sound. It could be a car going past, a motorbike, traffic, gym, speakers, anything. Now, when those cells get damaged, your brain actually fills in the gaps with electrical noise which you hear as the ringing in your ears. Now, most people think the ringing in their ears is tinnitus. That's the thing that everybody says it is. But it's actually not. That's a more severe case. If you get this on an occasion like once a week, 2 times a week, then it could be a mild case of tinnitus. But if it's very random, the chances are you've just heard a very loud noise, they're ringing a bit, and it is absolutely fine.
Yeah, okay. Y'all, I believe the end of the world is finna happen soon. Why did the new Pope just get gifted a pale white horse, y'all? Look at the video. Can't make this up. Pale white horse, y'all.
Any in towns now?
Y'all keep thinking shit is a game. Shit is moving very, very quickly. I just advise everybody to prepare. Stay prepared, y'all. Because 2026 is about to be the most craziest year we ever had. Y'all don't believe me? Make sure you follow. I'm gonna get y'all through this shit.
How is it possible?
I think 2026 about to be the most craziest year we about to have, bro. And that passage, man, I read about the horse saying what it will lead to. And they gave it to the Pope, man. You know, he's a spiritual figure, so 2 and 2, man, it's adding up.
Possible for an Amtrak train filled with 253 passengers to just vanish. So get this shit. Allegedly, an Amtrak train leaves St. Louis going to Chicago, and his shit winds up missing. Oh, you don't believe me, right? Look at this shit. Listen to what this man said.
I'm out.
You hear that shit?
The train that left from here at 8 o'clock this morning. The train that left St. Louis at 8 a.m. to make it to Chicago, he said. That's a little, and they don't even know, like they lost communication with the train. That's some scary stuff.
That man basically said, you guys can enter this train if you want to. It's not on us. Whatever is going on with these trains don't got shit to do with us. Y'all can get on this train if you want. But we're not saying that you're going to get to your destination safe. So basically a train with 253 people was missing. They lost it. No communication, no nothing. Mind you, they're saying that that train could have quote-unquote derailed and they didn't even know. Here it is. The train left St. Louis on its way to Chicago and they have no contact with anybody. Nobody at all that was on that train. That shit don't sound right. As soon as I hear more about this shit, I'm gonna let you know what happened. I'm out.
UK government is set to narrow the width of their roads across the country for the safety of cyclists. Now, Mail on Sunday report that according to official guidance quietly published last week, the standard 12-foot width of a road in Britain should shrink to 10 foot 8 inches so that cars don't have enough space to try and overtake cyclists, therefore causing fewer accidents. They say they should also allow for cyclists to ride more centrally in the road. However, in some cases, they also say that it could be expanded to at least 12 foot 10 inches, giving more room to overtake. For perspective, 12 foot has been the standard width of road in Britain for nearly 150 years. Now, Mail on Sunday say that the guidance will be applied to billions of pounds of future road building schemes, and local authorities which defy the recommendations could see reduced transport funding. The Standard report that ATE guidance is not legally binding, however, councils are expected to follow it. The question is this a good idea or not?
See that news story recently that was it happened in Spain. This woman was doing a experiment and she was going to be living in a cave underground for 500 days. The only human interaction she had was, I think it was like weekly or monthly visits from doctors just to check on her, and that was it. And they wouldn't update her on anything. They wouldn't tell her what day it was. They would not do anything. And so she laid under there. There's videos of her doing like workouts and exercises and stuff. And vlogging, pretty much just telling
No
her
sun,
experience.
right?
No sun at all. 500 days. Then they pull her out, and she's like almost resisting because she thinks it's only been, what she's been tracking, only been 120, 150 days. She only believed it would only have that many days had passed.
She just
And
lost complete.
Complete lost time, everything. I mean, imagine your sleep cycles, how messed up they would be. It's absolutely terrifying. Think about being alone in a cave for 500 days.
Nope.
Do you see those cave exploring videos? Like when they're crawling?
We talked about this before in the podcast, but it gives me so much anxiety. Have you seen those videos? You feel like the LeBron James thing on Kai Stream? They paid him to do that.
I think I brought something good in my bag.
What you got?
Got my LV bag with a little Labubu.
Okay.
Which
one? So he went on Kai Stream, and it was like he emphasized that he had a Labubu on his little Louis V bag. Oh, my little Louis V with my Labubu.
How much you think he got paid to bring the Labubu there, bro? Like one mention.
That's all he needed.
I think maybe $2 million.
Yeah. Word. Yeah. So I'm like,
Japanese scientists just created a drug that regrows human teeth, real teeth, with enamel, nerves, roots, everything. It's called TRG-035. Here's how it works. Humans actually have a hidden third set of teeth in our jaws. They never grow because a protein called USAG1 keeps them shut down like a brake. This drug blocks USAG1, removes the brake, activates dormant tooth buds, and new teeth start growing naturally. They tested it on mice with missing teeth, single injection, fully functional teeth regrew, complete with all natural components, and human trials have already started. 30 adult men testing it right now to see if it works the same way in humans. If it does, this eliminates dental implants. No more drilling titanium screws into your jaw, no more dentures, no more bridges. Just an injection and your body regrows the tooth on its own. And this isn't just about teeth. This proves regenerative medicine actually works. We can regrow teeth. What else can we regrow? Organs, limbs, tissue. The regulatory approval process means it's still years away from being widely available, but human trials are happening right now. When you can regrow complex organs with a single injection, medicine changes forever, and it's already begun.
Those who
it's like we're lizards now, bro.
Freak you out. Data Austin has stumbled upon some pretty wild stuff. Let salt water evaporate in a petri dish with a pyramid in it. The salt water crystallized into little mini pyramids. Now to test this, she used the same salt water and let it evaporate without the pyramid, and it formed its normal cubical shape. Now, water is pretty unique in the universe. If you get it in your car motor, it'll lock it up and bend all the metal. It's also how we turn turbines in coal plants. It exists in all 3 states on the planet, and it is a very powerful solvent. Molecules are shaped like hexagons. You see this when it freezes. This means that anything that is dissolved in it can be stored in it, which is why you should always filter and realign your water if you can. I've shown you through cymatics that your DNA also shares this same shape, and using cymatics we can read it like a song. If Veda left this in a fire room, it's probably resonating at the Schumann resonance, about 7 hertz, the resonance of the planet. That crystal vibrates, it transmits that vibration to the salt crystals via the water. It's a fantastic research paper on this by How Science. They transmitted an entire genetic sequence through water using 7 hertz. They put 2 beakers of water next to each other. One was pure water, one was DNA. They then subjected them both to 7 hertz and waited 18 hours. After using a polymerase reaction, they recreated the DNA. If that wasn't enough, a team of researchers made a hard drive using the same technique. It stored the data of 2 trillion CDs in a gram, and it read it 10,000 times faster.
Damn, okay. What if we do got some of the same memory, bro?
The real Jake Paul has now finally made a response to all of those AI videos, and he is pissed.
I've had it with the AI stuff. It's affecting my relationships, businesses. People are hitting me up saying, yo, did you say that? Really affecting things, and honestly, it's like people need to get a life. I'm going to be suing everybody that is continuing to spread these false narratives of me doing shit that I would literally never ever do. Be ready for lawsuits.
It's actually sad to see that Jake can't take a joke, and not only did Jake Paul respond, but also Jake Paul's wife responded, and it's so sad for me to see that somebody that I used to think is the most funniest YouTuber, which is Jake Paul, saying that he is going to sue everybody over silly videos, even though in Jake's response video, he is literally doing makeup himself. Maybe the reason why Jake Paul is so mad is because a lot of people say that they like this version of Jake Paul more better than the real one, because it would have been such a W if Jake Paul just embraced the joke. And now that Jake Paul's girlfriend has responded,
responded to all these videos, this is where it gets so much more insaner. And a lot of people are saying that the only reason why Jake Paul's fiance is actually mad is because she wishes he dressed that cute IRL. Could Jake Paul be mad about this?
What is going on with the music industry, y'all? What did they do to NLE Choppa? Like, when did they have him start doing dances like Michael Jackson? This is not the NLE Choppa I remember, y'all. Like, the NLE Choppa I remember during COVID times was actually putting people on, teaching people to meditate and eat clean and be vegan and all this type of stuff. What did they do to him? He looks like a completely different person, y'all. Like, does he look familiar? Even like the way that he dances. Y'all see that? What is going on here? Y'all think this is some type of humiliation ritual? You guys know how Hollywood is. I mean, come on. What happened to like NBA's, you know, just bobbing and weaving, you know what I'm saying? Now he's got like this whole Chris Brown, Michael Jackson thing going on. Can y'all see that? Don't he be moving like Chris Brown? Look at this, y'all. They don't look familiar to y'all? What? Nonetheless, something is different about NLE Choppa, y'all. Because wasn't he actually trying to help Young Boy? He literally made a song 6 years ago called Free Young Boy. Y'all see how different he looks? He almost looks and moves like a whole total different person. Can y'all agree? But music has changed, man. And all these people that we grew up with also have changed, man. It's not the same no more. Let me know that in the comments below, y'all. The shift is here. Let's continue.
Hating your family so much that you fake your own death to run away with another woman. Well, that's exactly what this man did. On August 11, Ryan Borgward went on a fishing trip, and that was the last time his wife and 3 kids saw him. His wife reported him missing, and when police went to go look for him, they found his kayak upside down, his car still parked, and his cell phone in the water. So obviously, police thought that there was an accident and he drowned, so they had a search team look for him in the water, but they couldn't find him. But then in October, 2 months after he disappeared, police found out that he crossed over into Canada just a few days after he went missing. So imagine, at first the family's devastated because they think that their father is dead, but then they find out that he's alive and he's in Canada. When police got a hold of his laptop, they found out that this man had been plotting how to fake his death for months. He went about getting a new passport, purchased a $375,000 life insurance policy. He wiped out everything from his computer and even changed the emails linked to his bank accounts. But it gets even crazier because police found out that he sent money to a foreign account, and then they find out that he was in contact with a Russian woman this entire time. So did he leave his family to start a new life? But then everything kind of went downhill for him because he sent police a video telling them that he was safe and alive and there's nothing to be worried about. Then he decided to return to Wisconsin a couple of days ago, and he was arrested for faking his own death. So my question is, what made him come back? Did his relationship with this woman not work out?
Crazy things happen.
Maybe he had fizzled out or something like that, or he just thought he made a huge mistake, man, but it's too late. The consequences for freaking your death is, I'm guessing it's pretty huge, bro. He couldn't just end it. He had to pull like a Taken, bro. Like he just freaking was gone, bro. Come on, man. We gotta do better than that, bro. Just end the relationship if it ain't worth it, bro.
Happening in the world right now. A bear that attacked luxury cars in LA was actually a person in a costume, according to insurance investigators. Passengers have a new fear unlocked because the plane they were on flew for 9 hours and then landed back at the same airport they came from. Mike Tyson reminded a child reporter that she too will die someday. A police officer pulled over his own boss for speeding. A former inmate sued Oklahoma jail officers for their baby shark torture tactic. A woman who dropped her phone in between 2 boulders got stuck upside down trying to get it. A fire station burned down in Germany after there was no fire detection system installed. The latest study shows that self-driving cars are safer than humans driving cars unless it's dawn, dusk, or it's trying to turn. A new alleged potato cartel is being accused of conspiring to raise the price of frozen fries and tater tots across the United States.
Facts that will definitely make your skin
They want that money.
Too. There is more of a chance of you finding a dead body underneath your bed than actually finding it in the garbage. If you ever plug your nose during a sneeze, you can actually rupture a blood vessel in your neck or your brain and it'll cause you to bleed to death. The electric chair was actually invented by a dentist. If a black cat looks at you and runs, it usually means something is about to happen to you, usually being pretty bad.
Well, I heard someone said your body...
Take those facts in.
I agree. The bestial. It is a sickness. So here's how nature deals with that. Bonobos actually have a system where if one female gets pressed by a male and she's not feeling him, she'll let out a cry, and every female in the group will pull up and put the beats on dude until he learns respect. They actually managed to nerf male aggression through the power of friendship. So you know, when a new male lion takes over a pride, the first thing he does is cancel any cubs that didn't come from his. Well, sometimes the lionesses ain't having it. Sometimes they jump the new guy. There was one case in Masai Mara where a male tried to steal food from some cubs and got absolutely obliterated by the mothers. They castrated him. I can't even show you that picture. The biggest threat to a baby bear is a bigger male, and some mother bears will purposely live closer to people, knowing that's the only thing keeping her biggest ops away. Ironically, some bears choose the man. Funny. When a capybara wants to dub a guy, she'll dive into the nearest body of water and just sit there for as long as it takes. By the way, the guinea pig can stay under 5 minutes. Female dragonflies will fake their deaths to avoid male attention. Like, they'll freeze in midair, crash to the ground, and just lay there and pray that stops them. Sometimes it doesn't. Some anacondas will seemingly let the male score, only to strangle him to a flatline and then eat him alive. The more you know.
Nah, the dragonfly pulling the fake freeze, bro. Like, you know how those streamers be doing, like, them. There was fake freeze in the freaking avoided their acted, bro. Is that where they got it from? The more you know, man. We learning out here today.
Insane true stories that you won't believe. Back in 2004, a man named Mitch, who was a senior in college, fell in love with a girl in his grade. After they graduated, they moved in together and began to work. And 2 years later, they got married. Not too long after, Mitch's wife became pregnant. But his job was going so well that his wife was able to stay at home and take care of their newborn baby. And a few years after that, his wife became pregnant again. Mitch absolutely adored his family. And with raising his kids and having a great job, he was living his best life. But one night while he was watching TV, he noticed something strange out of the corner of his eye. A red lamp in their family living room was blurry. Nothing else in the room was blurry to Mitch except for that lamp. He decided to shrug it off, but when he looked at it again, it was not only blurry, but it appeared to be upside down. He didn't tell his family because he didn't want to concern them. But after a few days, Mitch became obsessed over this lamp. He even skipped work just to stare at it all day long. And he eventually became unresponsive. Or to some now.
Alright, who am I mad at? You! I'll never forgive you for that. Crazy how a cereal commercial managed to gaslight us about this bird. Toucans are one of the strangest dinosaurs still alive, and no, I'm being serious. First of all, it's not even a parrot, it's basically a giant woodpecker. And they're not just fruit-loving rainbow vegans, they eat other birds. As in, they'll go out of their way to raid nests and eat the baby birds inside. Yeah, follow your nose, right? You know, when they're not also murking bats and frogs and pretty much anything else. I've even seen one life-deprive an owl. Y'all think they're cute, but I see right through them. And like this bird in reverse, you can too. The skin is so thin and translucent, you can stretch it and shine a light through it. It's like it's not even there. They also have a serrated beak. You know, serrated, like a knife. Unless you're a flying fruit ninja, there's no reason for a vegetarian to have that hardware. The signs were there. This tropical drone also has a feather duster for a tongue. That tongue's entire purpose is to shove food back down his throat. And food can be a blueberry or a struggling baby bird trying to escape. But the only way out is through the south mouth. Speaking of which, this is my life. I hate it. Understand that owning a toucan is owning a ballistic, unregulated paintball that will redecorate your home with color bombs whenever they feel like it. I just want to reiterate, any small animal you put near this bird is in danger, but if you want to put a sugar glider next to a Fruit Loops mascot, that is a decision. And they're not that bad. The babies are cute, and they purr.
That's a woodpecker.
These are scary cartoon truths that'll terrify you, part 16. Charlie Brown apparently has cancer. The most obvious clue that Charlie Brown has cancer is that he is mostly bald except for the one small tuft of hair on the front of his head. No other character in the show appears as bald, so it implies that it just wasn't a random characteristic style. The other odd thing about Charlie Brown is his down and out personality. He's always dealing with existential crises, way deeper than any normal 8-year-old should contemplate. The theory goes on to suggest the reason that nothing ever works out for him and his life is always a disaster is because he's in a hospital bed, slowly fading away and projecting his sadness into dreams.
What do you guys think, man? We learned watching these clips together with you guys, bro, that we can't take what the media presents to us, man, as absolute truth. Charlie, man, Dark Origins confirmed? Our childhoods are different, bro.
These are the craziest knockoffs of popular cartoons. Most people know about the amazing world of Gumball. But today, I'm going to introduce you to Miracle Star, a Chinese show that was launched in 2014. This knockoff didn't just copy the animation style. It recreated entire scenes from Gumball. The main character is also a cat boy whose brother is a fish with legs. The creators of Gumball obviously found out about this, so they went ahead and made an episode called The Copycats, where the two families from the shows face off. Next, I think we all agree that the Cars franchise is a masterpiece. Well, today, I'm bringing you something better. This is a movie called The Autobots, a Chinese movie that was released in 2015. The movie got immediate attention because of its resemblance to Cars. And when I say resemblance, I mean it's almost the exact same movie. The only difference is that in this world, there are actual humans, and the characters are very slightly different. But it's pretty obvious that the main character is a blatant copy of Lightning McQueen. And in Cars, we have Francesco, but in Autobots, we have Francisco instead. The movie's director actually defended it, saying he had never seen Cars before. And there was a sequel planned to come out in 2017, but Disney won a copyright lawsuit against them, so it was cancelled.
That was the most obvious cat, bro, I've seen yet. Of course they were ripping it off. That's like copying somebody's work and just changing the words around. It's still the same.
The craziest Halloween houses you've ever seen. Someone turned their house into a castle and it comes with a dragon. This person made a UFO crash site in their front yard. You have to love Halloween to put that much effort into it. This guy built a huge scarecrow, and look how small he is compared to it. That's gigantic. Someone put a skeleton on the road and made it look like it's coming out of the ground. Before I show you the best one, I just found a way to prank your friends by replacing their text with whatever you want. If you want to prank your friends, press here on my profile, then press change your friends' text messages. And finally, I really don't like spiders, but this was very well done. These are the strangest things that have ever been caught on camera. This video shows what appears to be a dark humanoid type creature crawling towards a bunch of boys playing soccer. Once the kids see it, they immediately run away in terror. Nobody knows for sure what this animal was, but many people claim that it was the South American mythical beast known as the Pombero. This next video was taken at the funeral of a 7-year-old girl. It shows one of the balloons that was next to her coffin somehow floating directly to her crying mother in the audience. Many people believe that this was the girl trying to comfort her mother from the grave.
Was that an edit or was that legit, man?
Male lion will step in and show everyone how it's done.
I'm so glad you said that, because I've been wanting to talk about this for a minute. Now I have an excuse. Male lions can hunt. They're actually very good at it. Do you peep the 2-minute? The whole them not hunting thing, that comes from lion pride, and there's a reason for that. You see, lady lions are great at getting groceries, but they can get jacked by hyenas or even other male lions. I think it's something like they only keep 24% of the animals they take down, so it's actually the male's job to defend and kill. Kind of hard to do that when you spend all that energy catching it. Also, the way they hunt is different. Lionesses hunt as a pack running down prey. With lions, the mane kind of gives them away, so they're mostly ambush hunters. The male lions do help hunt. It's usually to help bring down bigger tanks like buffalo. They're like mercenaries. They just come in and finish the job. Simba also has to patrol his territory and run fights with any down bad males that want to take over his pride. Yeah, no pride to be found after that. Also, before they even get a pride, they're in their bachelor nomad era, and if they don't hunt for themselves, they die. Here's some other lion facts, just because I feel like it. It's actually proven. Lions will leave an area after murking something, just to give their survivors a chance to let their guard back down. Some lionesses will purposely play paternity roulette and give up the lion yash to any males, even ones outside the pride, because not knowing who the father is actually saves the cubs from meeting Mufasa. In 2004, a man jumped into a lion exhibit and attempted to convert them to Christianity. Yeah, the cats. He told them Jesus will save you, and for his efforts he nearly got a meet and greet with him. The more you know.
Here's how shows were originally supposed to look. So Toy Story featured this much larger, wide-chinned Woody that was actually supposed to be a villain, with Buzz Lightyear appearing in a red suit. Glad they changed that. Monsters Inc. originally animated Mike Wazowski without hands and looking a bit less friendly, and Sully was completely different, foregoing blue for brown and looking a bit more dorky. Lost media of Shrek was found in 1996, which had Shrek looking a lot creepier with very little resemblance to the good-looking man that we all know and love today. Lightning McQueen was supposed to be a basic stock car with more body to appeal to more viewers, since race cars are considered to be too low. Finding Nemo originally had the whale scene with only Nemo, and made the blue whale a lot less intimidating than in the final version. Smurfs had an unpolished finish leading up to the days before final production, looking like this. And finally, Sonic from Sonic the Hedgehog movie was originally animated to look like this. Pretty cool, right?
This man was
We know how that went. Thank you for those redesigns, bro. They freaking defined people's childhoods, bro. Especially, man, that Sonic redesign, bro. I remember the Havoc that came out When they dropped that trailer, it was shit on Twitter. They had to go back to the drawing board. Thank you for that, bro.
Seen sleepwalking every night to an abandoned well, and when people found out why, he was arrested. Part 2. Inside, they found barrels of gunpowder. It turns out Assad was sent to the village by a large mining company. The village was actually built on a large gold deposit, but for years the villagers wouldn't let the company mine it. So every week the company would send Assad a shipment of gunpowder which he secretly poured down the well. And when the time was right, he would set it off, causing a massive landslide, destroying the village and letting the company mine the gold. But before I tell you what happened, if you want to erase corrupt world leaders that invade other countries or really anything from your photos, you need to try this. Just press this button on my profile and try erasing something. Since Assad was always thinking about this plan, he would subconsciously walk there while he was sleepwalking, which ultimately got him caught.
The ultimate sleepwalker, bro. He was dedicated to that plan. Don't know how much that had to be drilled into you, bro, to be doing that while you're sleeping. I've never seen a sleepwalker before. I think that's weird, bro.
3 facts that could save your life, part 5. If you ever find yourself trapped on a thin piece of ice and have no way of getting back to safe land before it breaks, lie down on your stomach and start slowly crawling back to exactly the way you came in on. That'll put less stress on the ice, making it almost impossible for it to break. Most people understand flags on shorelines, but the purple flag confuses most people. The purple flag being the warning that the most dangerous sea creatures are in that exact area, such as jellyfish, stingrays, and of course, sharks. If you ever feel like puking while you're scuba diving, vomit into the regulator. Do not remove it from your mouth. Removing it from your mouth will make it impossible to reapply it on your face, meaning that you're probably pretty far underwater, and once you remove that from your face, you probably will most likely drown. Like and follow for more videos.
Okay. I think the last one was pretty...
So, nobody finds it interesting that Moana goes looking for her ancestors that are connected to the sea and she comes back with me.
Hello, my friend. How could Moana have African-appearing ancestors if she's meant to be Polynesian? This is an understandable mistake, but the people depicted in Moana 2 are not meant to be African, but instead Melanesians. While the Melanesian appearance shares a lot in common with the appearance of populations in Africa, they're actually further genetically to Africans than Europeans are. The story of Moana is rooted in the history of the Austronesian migration. Around 4,000 years ago, it's understood that Austronesian-speaking people began their voyages from Taiwan, moving across the islands of Southeast Asia. As they sailed, parts of their population settled in islands they crossed, developing into the populations of Indonesia, Malaysia, and the Philippines, to name a few. They eventually sailed across the Pacific Ocean, and some even reached Madagascar, leading to the people of Madagascar today. It's the part of the migration where they started sailing across the Pacific Ocean that explains what you saw in the movie, as well as why Polynesians tend to appear physically different than their Indonesian or Filipino cousins. The Austronesians that sailed towards the Pacific began interacting with the Melanesians, who today remain residing in the islands of Papua New Guinea, the Solomon Islands, and Fiji. Over thousands of years, these groups remained interacting with each other, trading goods, ideas, and even genetics. And so that's why Polynesians and, well, Moana would have some Melanesian ancestry.
Celebrities that disappeared and were never found. Bison Dele played in the NBA for 8 years after being drafted in 1991, even winning a championship alongside Michael Jordan and the Chicago Bulls in 1997. Despite having 5 more years and a $45 million contract with the Pistons, he abruptly retired at the age of 30 in 1999. In his retirement, he enjoyed traveling the world in his catamaran boat that he called Hakuna Matata. On July 6 of 2002, Bison, his older brother Miles, his girlfriend Serena, and skipper Bertrand left Tahiti. By July 8th, the family of Bison and Serena had completely lost contact with them. On July 20th, Miles returned to Tahiti with the boat, but this time he was alone. 2 months later, Miles would be arrested in Phoenix for attempting to forge his brother's signature, attempting to buy over $150,000 worth of gold. The boat was discovered off the coast of Tahiti with the nameplate completely removed and possible bullet holes that had been patched. Now, he confessed that him and his brother had gotten into an argument on the boat. Bison's girlfriend was accidentally hit, fell over, and smacked her head on the part of the boat, which resulted in her death. The captain then wanted to report her death, which is why Bison killed him. Miles then shot his brother in self-defense, threw the bodies overboard, and fled back to the US. Obviously, the story doesn't quite add up. Now, before police could even attempt to try and verify his story, he intentionally overdosed on insulin and died September 27th, 2002.
Oh, brother, bro. For some gold, man. He just thought he can sail back and everything would be okay. No, I don't work like that, man. Consequences, reactions. That's an edit.
My biggest fear was having an ugly baby. Now look what the fuck I got. Look at him. He is so funny looking.
How dare you say something like this about your own child? To all the moms watching this, do you think this is normal? Now, I'm not married, I don't have kids, but this is messed up. You've been carrying this child for 9 months. This child is your own skin, and you go and call him ugly publicly online. To me, miss, your child looks adorable. There are women out there that gave birth to babies missing arms and legs, and they were never treated differently than other kids. These kids eventually grow up winning golden medals in Special Olympics.
Talk about it.
But the thing is, there's nothing wrong with your child, miss. What a shame. What a shame.
Yeah, like, but how can you talk about that like your own flesh and blood? Something talking about you have an ugly baby. That was a cute baby. Like, but that doesn't even make sense. Man, this world of secrets. We have to be better as a people, everybody, but as just be better as human beings.
An influencer has died at a creator event hosted by Box Lunch. If you're not aware of the story or of Dominique and the events that led up to this, Dominique Brown is a Disney influencer. She was invited to attend a creator event that was going to be hosted by Box Lunch. Dominique also had a number of severe allergies, which allegedly she had made the event team very aware of. But despite them being aware of that, an incident took place at the event where Dominique suffered a severe allergic reaction. People who were at the event made allegations that she did not receive very necessary medical attention in time, and it was confirmed Dominique did die at the event. The most disturbing and dystopian thing about all of this is that other creators, other influencers who attended this event are allegedly still posting content, positive content from the event, as if this event did not happen.
These are the most haunted places
people do for money.
in the Philippines. Before I start listing them down, you do need to know that for all paranormal investigators, the country of Philippines is on their to-do list, as it's known worldwide for its haunted destinations. Starting at number 4, Fort Santiago, Intramuros in Manila. The walls of Intramuros turn into something terrifying, reminding you of the dark Spanish era. Thousands of civilians and soldiers were tortured and killed in Fort Santiago during World War II. It may be a hot tourist spot, but at night, the strange noises that are heard in this fort tends to keep visitors and tourists away. Number 3, Clark Air Base Hospital in Pampanga. This abandoned building used to be a military hospital during World War II and the Vietnam War. Paranormal investigators have confirmed that demons have conquered this property. It is commonly visited by YouTubers, but things always go wrong. The jinns that are specifically in this hospital are a little more protective towards their home. Number 2, Manila Film Center, Pasay City. This building is potentially one of Asia's most haunted destinations. When a building is haunted in the United States, you will hear noises. But when a building is haunted in the Philippines, it is a whole nother level. This film center was abandoned in the 80s after it collapsed during construction. It killed all the workers, and none of their bodies were retrieved. And ever since, visitors were always warned to stay out of this building. The bad energy in this place spiritually drains you. And finally, number 1, Diplomat Hotel in Baguio City. Baguio City is ranked as the world's most haunted city as a whole. The Diplomat Hotel goes way back to 1911. No priests were able to cleanse this place. After many deaths inside this hotel, the business ceased its operations in 1987. Many paranormal investigators from around the world swore that they would never visit this building again. The Philippines is a beautiful country, but it is well known for its horrifying stories. You tell me, what country should I do next?
Thanks for telling us, man. Now go to the Philippines?
Apparently are real. It's been said by historians that the Blimmies live in northern Africa, specifically Libya. It's also been said they live in Ethiopia and way over there in South America, in Brazil. Now, this right here looks like a real photo. Now, of course, we know they made AI, so no one knows what's really going on.
Yep.
But if you look closely, that's his mouth right there, right up his pec line. And then up above that are his two eyes right there.
I see it.
Here's a list of other historians and writers that wrote about the Blimmies, the headless people, if you want to do your own research and check it out for yourself. So this whole time, Hitmonlee and Pokemon, this creature was based off a real mythical humanoid creature. And we know that there are no mythical creatures. All the mythical creatures are real. They're real. I mean, everything's on the table at this point. Look at everything that's popping off since 2020. All the information we're learning. Everything is on the table. Check out these old depictions. This is a monopod humanoid. This is a cyclops, conjoined twin, our good old Blimmy friends right here, and a werewolf. But no, these are all mythical. None of these are real, right? The Matrix is telling us that this is all made up information or just exaggerations throughout history. Someone went to a tribe and, they just exaggerate the stories and, people just took it too far, right? The Blimmies, according to the documentation, lived away from civilization. They had their own tribes doing their own thing. They didn't want to bother anybody, mind their own business. This map came out in the 1500s or the 16th century. If you look closely, right here, I'm about to zoom in, that's a Blimmy.
This is a snapshot of the film that was smuggled in 1991 out of a facility just south of Area 51. If I am truly in danger, that means that this film and this being is real. And God help me. But if I'm truly in danger and this being is real, that means the extraterrestrial program is also real. And I say, God help us all.
I'm fully prepared to be investigated by the Middle Eastern country Oman after what I share with you about emojis and where they came from. Now, okay, I know this sounds insane. Like, what am I talking about getting investigated by a Middle Eastern country? Well, bear with me. Okay, first let's start here. So the 72 emojis that were released in 2015 with Unicode 8 are the main 72 emojis that were incorporated to Apple phones, Samsung phones, etc. when they came out. It's the emojis we all know, like the smiley face, this one, that one. But deep in study late one night, as I do, I found the 72 Solomonic sigils, or they call them the demotic signs, demotic sigils. There are 72 demotic sigils that I'm showing you right here. All of them.
Okay.
And supposedly they found this in a grimoire written by King Solomon. What's crazy is I am convinced that some of the emojis that we use are based off of these demotic signs and sigils. Out of the 72 Solomonic seals, we have ones like this. This right here, this emoji looks just like a ball. How do you explain this? Here's another emoji, and this one looks like another Solomonic seal that would evoke a demon. I'm just going to go through a few real quick, okay? Here's one, here's another one, the nerd face. This one's funny. Another one. Okay, so I think that proves my point that this is not random. Like, whatever the Solomonic seals were, the emojis are based on those seals. But this is where I dug deeper. 1955, American archaeologist Wendell Phillips discovers Queen Sheba's palace in Oman. That will be very important later on, Oman, okay? Now, all of a sudden after discovering it in 1955, this guy, Wendell Phillips, if you look into it, he became the largest individual holder of oil rights in the world after discovering Queen Sheba's palace in Oman.
Wow. It was all lining up. What the hell's a whiteout? I can't see nothing.
Okay, so here's my sink. It is a touch sensor thing. And here's some strawberries.
Okay.
Nothing happens when I touch the box, but when I touch a strawberry...
What the hell? It's a signal there, bro.
But nothing happens when I touch the box, just the strawberries.
A video surveillance camera filmed an absolutely crazy scene. When this mother was walking down the road with her daughter, something truly improbable is about to happen right behind them. If you look closely, you'll notice there's a cat behind them who's also walking with them. Well, look at this cat carefully, and most importantly, look at what he does. He's walking normally behind the mother and the daughter, and after a while, for whatever reason, look at what he does. He literally backflips. The mom hears something, so she turns around, but unfortunately, it's already too late. If you agree she missed out on something crazy, subscribe.
She did, bro. This road, it do change colors like right in the middle, bro. There's some sharks in the Chicago River. Somebody's just paddling.
Scientists just did some shit that should make everybody uncomfortable. They basically put a living fly into the Matrix. You heard what I just said? Scientists put the brain of a living fly into the Matrix. Oh, you don't believe me, right? Look at this shit. And I'm not talking about science fiction. Researchers actually took the brain structure of a fruit fly and uploaded it into a computer simulation. Not a cartoon version, an actual neural model of the fly's brain. They built a simulated body for the fly. They built a simulated environment for the fly, and they let the brain run. The crazy part, the digital fly started doing normal fruit fly behavior, moving around, exploring, reacting to certain surroundings, trying to eat simulated food. Look at this shit. This fly is just living life. But the crazy part, the fly has no idea it's inside a computer. This fly is in a simulation. And as far as the brain is concerned, the world around it is completely real. And once you think about that for a second, now it leads to a much bigger question. If scientists can simulate the brain of a fly and drop it into a digital world, I think you know where I'm going, right?
Yep.
What if we are living in a digital world?
Right now.
What if we're living in a simulation? Because if a tiny brain can live in a simulation, how do we know we're not living in a simulation already? I'm out.
I was staring at my ceiling
question.
at work, and then I see this light, right? And I go over here.
Y'all see that? Oh, I'm out.
So nobody gonna talk about the fact that the government just secured Alien.gov like that's normal.
Really?
As y'all can see, it's right there, Alien.gov, registered on March 17th. You gotta sit there and ask yourself, why now? Why would they do this now? It wouldn't be because they're gearing up for something to happen, right? It wouldn't be because the movie Disclosure Day is coming out, right? I'm letting y'all know right now, things are ramping up very quickly. Y'all pay attention. I know y'all been seeing over the last couple of days, asteroids been entering Earth. And I be sitting there like, ain't they supposed to know when this is coming? Like, they can detect it, right? But then I seen one today where they said it was an asteroid, but instead of it going down, the jump started going up, down, around. And I'm sitting there like, what the fuck could that be? Then I started thinking again, how many satellites do Elon got in space? What's the fastest way to make a one world government? Thoughts down below in the comments. Let me know.
Hey, bro.
No questions.
What is that?
It's a LiDAR scanner, bro.
What are you LiDARing?
The entire store. I'm basically creating like a Google Maps point and click walkthrough of the building. We send it off to corporate and they take a look at it, figure out what they're gonna change up for remodel stuff.
I ain't never seen nothing like that.
Yeah.
That's weird, bro.
Gulf Stream is collapsing. This would be the beginning of another ice age. The last time the Gulf Stream stopped flowing was 13,000 years ago, and that put the world in a 1,000-year freeze.
Whoa.
So it dysregulates everything. It's like one of the major tide flows in the world. Goes around the Gulf, shoots up around the east coast of America. That's how everything works. Rain, weather. That's why Europe has weather changes, is because of the Gulf Stream.
Even like marine life.
Everything.
Very dependent on that.
It's the weakest it's been in 1,600 years.
No.
Scientists are blaming it on emissions, which I don't buy.
Thanks to it.
I don't know, though. What do I know? It could happen, completely stop its current route in 10 to 20 years. And they're saying if this doesn't stop by 2060, it would be irreversible. That would plunge Europe into basically being freezing all the time. Their average temperature would drop 15 degrees.
Wow.
It's crazy.
All that hot water would just accumulate on the east coast of America, which would be prime for hurricanes.
Oh, no.
Devastating hurricanes.
What do we do to save this thing?
Stop pooping.
Yeah.
Does this mean we have to stop flying the private jet that we own?
Yeah.
Dang it.
Here you go, here they ticket.
What the doggy doing?
Here they ticket.
Oh, he glitched out, bro.
Okay, when I first saw this video, I thought for sure this has to be AI. But it is not. This line is a strand of hair for reference, and they're zooming in with a super high-powered microscope onto a microchip. And it keeps going. And you know how microchips look like cities? That is very interesting. If you look at the layout of a microchip or like a motherboard with cities, it looks identical. Very strange. But this thing keeps going in and further and further. And many people are wondering, like, how would you make this? How would it be possible for a person to make this? Is it like 3D printed with a micro needle to draw these lines and all that? But these are the chips, which, by the way, are threatened by the Strait of Hormuz shutdown because the oil that powers the chip plant in Taiwan is not getting its fuel. Now, when you Google it, it's interesting because they literally have an AI overview on this. Conspiracy theories and specific religious interpretations often link RFID implantable or AI-integrated microchips to fallen angel technology, or the mark of the beast, from Revelation 13. These views suggest such technology is used for global surveillance. Well, it is. Satanic control. Well, didn't it say Satan wanted to be like God, wanted to be everywhere, hear everything, and see everything? Well, if AI was fully implemented, that basically would completely achieve what Satan wanted to do in the first place. Or to force a system where commerce is restricted to those who are chipped. That's the mark of the beast. Now, I thought in 2020 we were getting the mark of the beast already. I think it's more serious, and it's going to be around the corner. I don't think that was the full-blown mark of the beast. All I know is I will not be getting it. A bunch of other revelations have come true. That one, not just yet. So we will see, but all I know is I'm not getting any mark.
Me too. The hell is that? She looks like she was asleep. Somebody's in the house. And there's another dog.
When they said I was a clone, that made me flip in the hospital. That's it. These motherfuckers are trying to clone me. I didn't have a stroke. So I'm sitting in the hospital bed like this. And then I saw me walk into my room. But I'm white. So I see the white me.
But he had a Caesar too? Just
like all that. The white me.
And
I'm trying to get their attention. And no one said anything. And I'm like, that's it.
I'm sure there's nothing to see there. I'm sure Jamie Foxx was just being sarcastic. He was just joking about how they tried to clone him, right? But there are a lot of weird things. For instance, where did his head tattoo go? And you've got to admit that he looked very different when he got out of the hospital. I guess that's why he starred in a movie like this right here, because he was telling you truth in plain sight. Or even the fact that he starred in a movie like this, and look at this poster right here. A coffin shape? I mean, come on. But again, I guess Jamie Foxx was just joking in that clip, because again, that's what he does. It's good to see that he's doing so good. What do you think about this? It's always truth in plain sight. Wake up.
Yeah,
I really think, man, that they cloned the celebrities out here, bro. But the fact that he started in the movie, man, they cloned Tyrone. It can't be a coincidence, man. It's like the media, bro. They're putting it in our face. Oh, you're trying to send a message, man, that, hey, cloning could exist.
I'm in a lift and I get to my house and this man is standing in front of this thing, y'all. So he drove away and look how he is.
Wait, is he telling us to come here?
Don't do it.
Oh! He's waving. Fuck no. He's saying come here. Please? Oh no, in this ride, I'm gonna go to my nigga.
Hey, y'all hear about this? Coca-Cola sued for claims that its all-natural Simply Orange juice has high levels of toxic chemicals. Hey, that's crazy. I ain't gonna lie, I didn't even know Coca-Cola owned them. But I'm curious now. So apparently Simply Orange juice has been found to be contaminated with toxic PFAS at levels hundreds of times above federal advisory limits for drinking water. PFAS are a class of 12,000 chemicals called forever chemicals because they do not naturally break down and they link to cancer, fetal complications, liver disease, kidney disease, autoimmune disorders, and more. This suit was filed in the Southern District of New York. The complaint is its packaging and branding mentions all natural ingredients and nothing to hide, which is alleged to be misleading because it has synthetic chemicals that make it not natural. Damn, Slim. What's your thought on this? Do you even drink this orange juice? Do you even care about these claims? Comment that below right now.
I didn't even know Simply Orange was even owned by Coca-Cola, man. These companies won't be having these other freaking lower companies, bro, that you have no idea that they own, man. Do you guys drink that Simply orange juice? I don't, so I'm good.
Wolves greed. They will want a lick inside your mouth.
What?
This is perfectly normal for them, and this is what they do to one another on a daily basis.
Ew.
If you can tolerate it, you should allow this, as they will trust you more and can learn everything about you as a person,
Not I.
which includes your body chemistry, if you are sick or well, what you have eaten, and also if you are kind and non-threatening to them.
Actually did it.
UK is now facing an unprecedented outbreak according to health officials. And to make it even more concerning, those who have died and are currently most at risk from this outbreak are students. So here's what's going on. On Sunday, UK health officials announced that there was a serious outbreak of meningitis in the city of Canterbury, which they have now declared a national incident. Meningitis causes inflammation of the protective membranes that surround the brain and spinal cord, and its side effects includes things like sudden high fever, stiff neck, severe headache, nausea, vomiting, sensitivity to light, etc. Now, this recent outbreak in particular is being described by health officials as unprecedented due to its explosive nature, and the Times even described it as the worst meningitis outbreak in a generation. So far, 2 people have died who were only 18 and 21, and 13 more are in hospital, and the majority of other cases so far have all been linked back to what authorities believe was its place of origin, a nightclub in Canterbury called Chemistry. They describe this as a super spreader event because meningitis can be passed through kissing, sharing vapes, or drinks. Now you're probably wondering why the hell this is happening, because meningitis has been in the UK for decades. Well, there's actually multiple strains. For example, Men C was vaccinated against in 1999 and cases dropped by about 96%. And interestingly, vaccinations for this strain were only introduced by the NHS for children who were born after 2015, meaning if you were older than 11 or 12, which is the majority of the UK population, you will likely not have this vaccination. And you know, with Men B having a concerning death rate of 1 in 10, the University of Kent have cancelled their exams and huge long queues can be seen lining up for antibiotics. The UK's Deputy Chief Medical Officer said that it was the quickest growing outbreak he had ever seen in his entire career. And while contracting meningitis is very serious, the UK Secretary is saying that the risk of it spreading nationally is very low. But of course, as this situation develops, I'll keep you guys updated.
So you're telling me that this whole entire time, Memphis, Tennessee, had pyramids?
Where they at?
And the Nile River? I thought pyramids was only in Egypt. So what is this?
Who lying to us?
You motherfuckers. And don't say it's fake yet, cause I seen more than one picture like this. So you're telling me this either existed and got covered up, or we just not being told the full story?
Bingo.
Are we not being told the full story? Ain't that suspicious how mounds always lead up to a walkway
when you walking up it, you motherfucker, look at all these mounds in the United States. I wonder what been chopping down the haze. Mind blowing.
That's my first time hearing a wolf laugh.
Y'all done? All right, Jake, you going to bed now? All right.
Well, the outdoors boys, man.
Got this nice bottle of boiling water to keep my sleeping bag warm, but I'm not quite ready to go to bed, so just gonna put it right there. On that note, I think I'm gonna get my bed set up.
I don't know. I always be surviving outdoors, man.
Always try to put something in between the stove and my sleeping bag in case I roll around in the night. I don't want that sleeping bag even touching that stove. It'll melt a hole or worse yet, catch on fire.
He's the one with Spied Agent, man, who be doing his survival streams. How many of y'all can survive in the outdoors,
Go
bro?
sleep and I'll see you guys in the morning.
Sound controlling fire, bro?
I don't know why people keep saying that giants in the Bible were only like 7 feet tall. In the book of Numbers, when Joshua and 11 spies were sent to investigate the promised land, they came back to the congregation and reported that there were giants on the land and that they looked like grasshoppers in their sight. Now, I do understand that a 7-foot person is very tall, but an average heighted person does not look like a grasshopper to them. This is why I constantly tell people to read the word for yourself, and if you want to expand your knowledge, read the book of Enoch because it goes into great detail about all of this. It goes into detail about how a group of angels came down and laid with human women, and as a result, giants were born, aka Nephilim. The women who decided to lay with the angels were punished by God and turned into sirens, and from this point, it gets so much deeper.
Did y'all hear about the meteor that flew throughout the states of Pennsylvania and Ohio and ended up crashing in the lake in Ohio and making a huge impact and a sonic boom? But people are saying this is not a meteor or a meteorite. But for some reason, when it made an impact, it made a sonic boom. But I'm about to show y'all what the lake was like. Everywhere. And so apparently this is the lake that the meteor fell into, y'all. But am I missing something? Do y'all see anything? I don't see no damage or nothing like that.
That's the opposite.
So now meteors just falling in the damn lake. Loud.
So people are saying that the noise was extremely loud. It was like a sonic boom, but there's no damages that were done. Listen to this. Y'all heard that? Y'all, I think this is only the beginning of more of these things to come. Remember, God said that he would destroy the world by fire this time around. And it looks like it's coming through, man. I don't know what these are, but I don't think these are meteors or meteorite, bro. These are something else. You guys know everything has been changed to confuse us even further, bro. So, bro, but this right here, man, the shit that's here. Let me know what you guys think about this video. Let's continue.
Hey, I know you're a fucking mimic. I've seen you all over TikTok and stuff like that. If you want to mimic my voice, that's fine. But if you're gonna live under here, you at least have to pay rent. You got it? Fuck you. No, fuck you. Fuck you. Don't call me.
What? These mimics. He didn't even say anything. letting these get into their house? Or their mom's just playing tricks on them? They glitching in the mirror, man. It was a delay. She can't see that? Quantum cops, some of them, they have to have seen that, bro. They know it's just so well freaking timed to edit, man. She cold with her hair, bro. She do not see that. She can't be that blind, man. You ain't gonna get us on that one, man.
Ma'am? 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 Ma'am, this is a public street. Ma'am, you can't do that.
What the hell is she doing? Look like she getting freaky with a ghost. He did exactly what I would do. Still there. They both was doing that at the same time. They hit the devil. New. Creepy door movement. Something lurking in there.
Ghost skinwalkers are real.
Okay. Woo. That looks like a person. Hybrid? You guys think, man, I seen those skinwalkers, man. We seen a lot of skinwalker clips. Those one were definitely chilling, man. Especially the first one. Walking as a person, man, just turned into a dog. I see some weird skinwalker clips on, but that one takes the cake, man. I'm going to have to go into a skinwalker rabbit hole one day.
You come with me, boy. Alright, boy. Your time is now. For Timothy. You. You. Wrap him up.
Damn. He going in. A half eating the spider is wild, bro. We don't do spiders over here, man. That's on the back of his truck, too.
Timothy, I'm gonna have to critique you on your web. Right now, it's looking pretty rough.
Pet spider, man. It looks venomous too, bro.
Good job.
Brave man.
These trees will make you question everything.
Look at his teeth right there. Those trees definitely have some freaking faces. I don't know if they were like carved in. Some of them probably look carved, but some of them looks like they were just like naturally formed that way. Mind blown. Saw that face, man. That first clip was diabolical, man. Pit turning on her. Crazy thing to see. They go in the closet. So I checked that out, man. They exploring some urban Chicago tunnels.
Melody, focus. Focus, baby girl. I'm over here. Look. There's nothing over there.
You see it.
Dolls scare the out of me, but if I had to hear this story, so do you. This lady says this happened to her a few years ago, and at the time she had this lady that was around 60 or 70 years old as a neighbor. She explains how her neighbor was never able to have kids, so to fill that void, she bought a doll. She says that this lady would treat the doll as if it was a daughter. She would dress her, she would take her out for walks, she would talk to her. She even named the doll, and she could tell that she was treating the doll like a child that she was never able to have. So one night, as she was walking home from work, she bumped into her neighbor and the doll at the park that was right by their houses. She always talked to her neighbor and they were very friendly, and she said that she did stay there talking to her for a while, but then out of nowhere it started raining. She asked her neighbor if she wanted to come over to her house to have some tea so that they can continue the conversation they were having. The neighbor agreed and they quickly went into the house, obviously because it was starting to rain on them. However, she accidentally forgot her doll at the park bench. So as they were in her house, she had made the tea, she gave it to her neighbor, they were talking, they were sipping, and out of nowhere they heard somebody knocking on the front door. She did think it was weird because she wasn't expecting any visitors or guests. Because it was late and again she wasn't expecting visitors, she asked her neighbor if she could go with her to the front door to see who would be knocking at this time of night. When they both got towards the front door, instead of opening it, they went to the window to see who was knocking. But what they saw left them terrified. And when I'm chills already, oh my gosh. They both saw that doll outside of that front door. She said that they could have thought to themselves, hey, maybe somebody saw the doll. They knew that I was here, they dropped it at the front door. However, a few moments after they saw the doll outside the door, they heard a little girl's voice say, "Mom, open the door. Mom, open the door, I'm cold." They were both looking at each other like, did we both just hear that? They did. They decided not to open that door, and she said that she grabbed her neighbor, took her to her bedroom, and they locked the door. Time passed, and they were both in there just like not knowing what to do, and they just like talked each other up. They were like, no, let's be brave. Let's go back out there because we need to do something about this. They both went back towards that front door to look out that window to see if that doll was out there. However, the doll was no longer in front of her door. And actually, that was the last time that they both ever saw that doll again. And she said that she could tell that something changed with her neighbor. Like, it was all strange. Sadly, she says that with time, she did end up moving away from that house, so she never really heard about her neighbor again. However, she obviously says that she will never forget this experience because this was the most terrifying thing that she had ever been through. And this is why I'm scared of dolls, okay? The most I had was by Spice Girls dolls. Yeah, they were never gonna do that to me. If anything, they were just gonna sing to me. Anyway, what do you guys think?
You guys think that story is caps we're saying? Maybe somebody could have left it by the door. That's my most logical explanation, but they talking about saying mom I'm cold. I don't know about that, man. Haunted. Could the dog been possessed, man? Who knows? You can't rule anything out nowadays, man. This world is a crazy place, man. Crazier things have happened.
Hey, buddy. Are you okay? You can't be out here. Where's your mommy? Hey, buddy. Holy shit.
Her hair turned, but her body didn't. What the hell? Those were some strange things caught on camera. 4K.
Don't watch this at night.
Why's her hair sticking up? Doesn't that sound like that lightning's about to strike? Flying cockroaches? Hell no. Why do everybody just think the bathroom is the best hiding space to go? It's really not. Caught him. This lady one of the worst places to go, man. They gotta think of better hiding spaces to go to, man. Your bathroom, man, you limited your options. Seekers, if you guys made it with me to the end of the video, you're true seekers seeking the truth. I really appreciate the support. Make sure you guys leave a thumbs up on this video, comment down below. Also hit that post notification bell so you always get notified when I upload my next videos. You guys are going to catch you in the next one, man. I'm out. Peace, YouTube.